Today we are going to be talking about Black Library. There are so far 763 novels released. Probably I'm missing some that were some that were now published, but they are special editions and such. They are not still available to the general public. If you get what I mean by this. From this, I've read 200 novels. Here, okay. Basically, most of them are either 40k. Then there was Warhammer Fantasy, Time of Legends, Rulebooks, Horror's Heresy, Blood Bowl, Necromunda, sigmar, and mix. When they are basically 40k and sigmar, or 40k Warhammer and so on. They are basically collections and such. So as you can see, I've read 201. There are so far 728 that I have. I don't bought. There are some. Sorry, there are some that I have not bought it. Like most of them are or is it the Primark series or the. Let me check here. As you can see, yeah, they are basically Horror's Primark and Legends. They are all from 2014 so far, because basically they are hardcover that I don't think they are worth the money. So in the beginning I bought everything they did, but then I start not buying them. Here there may be some novels that are so they are only available in ebooks. In that regard, I will not have them. Some I really want them, but they are either not released, or at least not to me. Overfeed, Silver Skulls, Rebirth, Grey Knight, Sons of Titan. I don't have them. These four. Celestine, Sagas of Beowulf. These ones I don't have. This one I just received today, so it's not here updated, but yeah, I have to update it. And basically these are the only ones I really want, but they are not available, probably due to the lack of release in the book depository or such, because I don't buy them from their website because they are very expensive. And then we've got the ones that are coming out in the couple of months, probably a year or so. Yeah, so let's get to it. To this. First of all, I really love Black Library. Some of my favorite novels are from Black Library. And basically our is this divided. Here above are all my novels that anthologies and such that I've not read it. The Inferno, the ones I said that they're mixed. Some more anthologies, 2 hardcovers from the Siege of Terror. I believe here behind it's not Warhammer, it's Cage of Souls and Stephen Erickson. Okay. There are behind here also books. Let's see what's behind it. It's some hardcover Vulcan Lives and a couple of anthologies that are given as Game Days anthology. I have not been there, but I bought them via books and such. And behind we've got Hammer and Bolter and The Last Censures and another anthology from 2012 and 13. Here all of the collection from the Space Marine Battle. Some novels I've not read from Grotek. More fantasy. the remaining Space Marines and such. And then we've got some novels that are not yet finished. The Emperor's Legion, I believe there are one more to come, I don't know. The problem here that most of the time we don't know how many books there are in the series, because they may do good or not, and so they may try to make more novels. There are a couple of instances that there was supposed to be a second or third novel and there isn't. You've got here another great author and series. Okay. Red Duke. This is probably one of my favorite writers, C.L. Werner. More fantasy. Oh, this one, let me give you. This is probably, I believe, probably the only novel I've got like this. I traded some novels with C.L. Werner, and then he sent me this one, and it's signed. Yeah, pretty cool. Here I've got some more novels. Solo, these two. Then we've got a series that from one of my favorite writers, Gordon Reddy, but Zafant is probably in the top 10, no doubt. The Zafant. I've got 10 Habit trilogy. Okay, they are pretty good covers. Old, Black Library, Annihilation Squad. This is I believe the third novel, but I've read the first one. Then we've got the Graham McNeil series, 3 of the novels, the rest are behind it, and of course the Guns Ghosts. What we've got behind, some more Necromunda, Space Wolf by William King. This is another great writer. His Gotrek novels are really top. Unfortunately, I've not read this one because it was not finished by him, and there are many criticisms about his writing. Red Furry and Black Tide by James Hall. This is the Blood Angel series. There are a couple of, I believe, anthology, a book that comprises these books and such. That's the problem with Black Library. They release a novel, and then they release a second novel, and then there is a complete bonus edition, if you will, with a couple of short stories extra, and so you have to buy them. And then sometimes they even don't tell you what they are trying to do. You saw that I bought The Last Censor because it had some stories, extra stories, but I don't do that anymore. Fate and Fire and Medieval by James Follow. There is also Omnibus edition. Ian Watson, Revenor. More Gaunt Ghosts, Van Counter trilogy. There are only here the 3 first novels. The remaining are not here at my house for so far. Some Time of Legends. Then you've got here the new Space Marine Conquest. There are 6 novels, I believe, and I'm missing one. I think, I don't know. There was supposed to be one going to release now, but the author was cancelled, I believe. Some Chris Raid, Paul Kearney, more Necromunda, Magus. Okay. These are more current novels, and we've got here probably the new version of Warhammer 40k after the fall of Kalia, and the coming of of the Primark. Um, behind, sorry, behind we've got some more Time of Legends, more fantasy. As you can see, fantasy in my view, they are before the Warhammer 40k, probably because I want to finish them all. Then we've got the new Sigmar world, and plus a couple of these were all bad guys perspective. Okay, some Iron Guards that probably are my favorite series. Gillian's Curse and Gillian's Blood. I've read the Gillian's Blood in the old edition. I've got 3 novels, different versions of the novels because I really love the book. It's probably in the top 3 of my favorite novels. Storm Warriors, Van Craig, old version from box 3. Okay. In the second novel there was a difference between because I've got the 2 versions, and there was a sex scene in the box 3 version that didn't exist in the Black Library one. Black Library doesn't use sex scenes on their novels. Apparently the characters are not sexual active. Although grimdark, Black Library, or Hammer Fantasy and such, they don't use that rape and so on because that's not in their nature, but they like to write grim dark stories, but not with catchers, if you will. Okay, behind we've got some more Sigmar novels, some Time of Legends. We've got more Time of Legends. Okay, didn't talk about these ones. Andy Mitchell, the author of Siafa's Kane, Celso Erner, the 3 novels of Lorica, basically a side story from Kotrek. I've read all books from Kotrek, apart from the ones that finish his tale in the Warhammer Fantasy. Okay. Time of Legends, and then other fantasy novels. And here we've got more anthologies. Or the Our Hammer horror stories. I've to read 2 of them. The rest I've already read it. More solo novels. Here, this one, it's a horror, but I've not read it because it's part of a great scheme of novels by Peter Ferrari. Sorry, and I went to read them in one go, probably. Behind there are more Blood Legends novels, as you can see, more Habit. Perfect. Some not finished series. Okay, these 2. Dark Angels, Blackstone Fortress, Dead Watch and Overkill, Necromunda, 3. Here are my Warhammer War's Heresy series. The only one that's not gold is this one, which upsets me a lot. Behind them, I'm not going to retrieve them, but behind me, I can show you. More Mars Heresy. Mars Heresy. I never understood what this means, the red. You understand? You see here, red. I believe they were plot. Some people thought it was a plot that was red, like the trilogy, and the green followed the green and so on, but nobody, I never found it. Someone told me, if you know, please do tell me. This drives me crazy because after a while they stopped doing it. Behind we've got Anthony Rail's Knights of Ram, Britannia novels, Dave Bishop, Mystery, okay, Sven Hassel, not Black Library, okay. Behind here are not Black Library, like Leo Kessler, Vampire Hunter D, one novel, the remaining are series from 40k, some sci-fi, Phil Pullman, more Sven Hassel, then Siemens, and here we've got more Warhammer Vampire Hunter and more Warhammer. I've read the first 5, then I stopped reading because I was in a reading slump, and this was 3 or 4 years ago, but I will finish them. Then more novels from Black Library, Leo Kessler, and here in the back you've got all hardcover editions, William King, Graham McNeil, more William King, sorry. The end of Warhammer Fantasy, to my dismay. Couple of 3 novels, hardcovers I've got. I believe this one and this one was bought via internet, so they are hardcovers. I usually don't buy them unless they are part of a series of such that I really want. Here are Siege of Terror, the big novel, and Requiem Infernal by Peter Ferrari. And this is such my Warhammer collection. I've got them all. Probably a couple of my favorites. Yeah, look at by Black Library. Some of my favorites. This one, Dead Man Walking. William King's Gotrek. The remaining are not here, but I also enjoy them. The 5 novels in one of the most grim stories I've read, by Dan Habit and Mike Lee. It's his story here, Malus Dark Blade, okay, series, and 2 other novels with good characters from C.L. Werner, For the Blood God and Palace of the Plague Lord. But there are others, novels, the great novels by Warhammer Fantasy and 40k, that I would advise anyone to read them. Even people that don't usually read this kind of novels, they can read this one. For example, look here, my screen. Some are part of series, no doubt, but some are not. And I've been reading from the oldest to the newest. I'm trying, but there are some I've been not read it, but there are some that really dark, like Ponds of Chaos. It's very good by Brian Craig, or Brian Craig. It's Brian Stableford. I really love this story. Gillen Blood is very dark. Okay. This is a series, anthologies. Blood Money, the C.L. Werner, the Blood series are very good. Mark of the Nation is very good as well. Riser of the Dead is one of the best stories I've read overall, basically. You've got two characters, one from the Imperial, one from the other guys, the bad ones, the Chaos, and then they switch basically. It's very very good. Um, they sorry the story is because of two guys, and and the changes that we see in those characters for 3 or 4 months. They are apart in the winter, they are waiting, and it is such amazing difference, and in the end the climax is so good, dude. As I said, James Wallace, Mark of Heresy, and Mark of Chaos are very good. The dark chaos stories I really enjoy. Of course, this is not Jason Spurrier, but sorry, the name is Simon Spurrier. Don't know why the name is here. I believe Commissar C.F.S. Kane stories are very interesting as well. Not that dark, but comic. Um, then you've got Double Eagle, another great novel about, well, about about a team of guys that fight in the Sabbath's world. One interesting thing is that we see them. We follow a group of fighters in terms of planes, as they try to make kills and such, and it's very very good because it's not action. It's very action filled, but it's also very gives an real image of what is war and what is battle, what is waiting for to happen. And I read it 15 years ago when it was released, and it's very it still haunts me because it doesn't try to um, it doesn't try to glorify war. None of these novels do, but it tries to convey that everything is a waste of, and it's very grim. After reading this, I thought this is very grim. And then we've got some fast novels. The Nathan Long Van Neersbijn series, Black Art series are very good. Here is Demon Curse. Then this novel, probably one of my favorite novels as well. It's not, don't expect something well written or such, but expect something that is really dark and grim because you follow a character that is being goes to another planet to fight, and he is just there to fight, of course. And what is 15 hours? 15 hours is the amount of time usually the Imperial Guard. I don't know if that world or in the old worlds they start fighting and they died. Basically, the expectancy of life of or Imperial Guard after being deployed, and 15 hours is the maximum time they live. Generally, of course, and it's very interesting to see. This is not a Rambo stories like you can kill 1,000 enemies. No, it's very interesting to see that they are humans. The Imperial Guards are humans, and they have feelings. And imagine the billions upon billions of dying. But every one of them is individual, and everyone has their own personal goals, and it's one of the most grim stories I've read in terms of stories. Right from the beginning, you know it's not going to end well. Um, got some other novels. That World, another great series. I believe the Imperial Guard series are the best ones. That World is about a group of katakans that go to a planet, a dead world in this case, as they try to retrieve it from from the enemies that are besieging him. But not only the orcs that are there are bad, but also the world itself. It's very fighting. and it's very also another grim dark novel without a doubt. Don't go expecting good things of these novels, of these characters and such. Then you've got some more novels. Steven Saville was another great writer that wrote for Warhammer, for Black Label, but then he was cast out. The same happened mm, with the one I've showed before, the Simon Spurrier or Gordon Rennie, probably three of my favorite writers. But yeah, that's what we've got. Okay, Anthony Reynolds trilogy, Dark Apostle, Wordbearer series. It's all told in the bad guy's perspective. So if you want something like that, go for it. They are now good guys. Don't expect anything. Um, yeah, that's it basically. There are most of these novels. There are only a couple of ones I really didn't enjoy it or hate it. Um, some were due to bad writing. Some stories are not that good. Um, but most stories are very good because they are very grim, very dark, very usually in the bad guy's perspective, which is very interesting. This was most of these novels, okay, they were written 10, 11 years ago, but some of them were uh, 20, 30 years ago, 89. Dragonfels and such, and they are already writing grim dark stories in times that nobody talk about grim dark. Black Library not. Sorry, this series, these books founded the term grimdark, and then other stuff grow grew from that. So yeah, uh, this is a big novel, a big video. Sorry. Um, I highly suggest some of these novels. Ask me if you want a particular kind of novel or a particular kind of what type of novel you want. I've got here if you want Necrons, if you want humans, you have Skavens, and so ask me. I've got also the short story and which short stories are in each collection and such. So ask me, no problems. I'm always available to talk about this and to learn. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Thank you. Have a nice day.